10 seconds. Gold dog jewels, pink tracksuit, a banner that reads, "Not just broke, uninformed." The algorithm doesn't hate you. It just finished calculating exactly how stupid you could afford to be. The question is, which test did you just pass?
There's a number that keeps coming up when you dig into how modern supermarket pricing actually works, and I've sat with it a while now, and it still lands weird. The number is 34. 34%. That's the documented gap, and we'll get to the documentation, between what someone pays for the same item in the same store on the same day, depending on one variable. Not which store, not which city, same aisle, same shelf, sometimes genuinely same moment. The variable is whether or not you scanned the app. And I know what you're thinking, because I thought it too. That's just a coupon. That's how coupons work. You scan, you save. You don't scan, you pay full price. That's not a conspiracy. That's Tuesday. Except that's not what's happening. And the difference between what you think is happening and what's actually happening that's the thing I want to stay in today, because the mechanism is not what it looks like from the outside.
Let me back up. This starts with behavioral pricing, which is a term that sounds academic until you understand what it means in practice, which is stores are not trying to give you a deal. They are trying to identify you. The app is an identification system. The coupon is the incentive to identify yourself. And once you've identified yourself, once you've handed over your purchase history, your timing patterns, your basket composition, what you buy when you're in a hurry versus what you buy when you have 20 minutes, you get sorted. Not into loyal customer and new customer. That's the old model. You get sorted into price sensitive and price inelastic. Price sensitive means you notice, you compare, you'll leave over 40 cents. You are, in the language of the industry, responsive. Price inelastic means you don't, you won't. You're not going to drive to the other store over 40 cents. You are unresponsive. And in the language of the industry, unresponsive is not a neutral word. Unresponsive is an opportunity.
The 34% figure comes from a 2023 analysis of dynamic pricing spread across major U.S. retail chains. I'll give you the source in a second, because this is the kind of claim that sounds made up. Published in the Journal of Marketing Research, cross-referenced with a Federal Trade Commission inquiry from 2022 into retail loyalty programs. The FTC document is public. The language they use is careful, which means something. They call it price differentiation based on inferred willingness to pay, which is a clean way of saying we figured out how much you'll take before you stop, and we charged you that. The mechanism for sorting is the app. The app knows you buy premium olive oil every 2 weeks. You never switch brands. You buy it regardless of whether it's on sale. That's a signal. That signal gets flagged. The next time you open the app, or in stores with digital shelf labels, which is the part that gets genuinely weird, the next time your phone comes within range of the Bluetooth beacon near that shelf, your price is not the same as the price of the person next to you. Digital shelf labels. Some of you have seen them. Little screens instead of paper tags. They update in seconds, centrally, remotely. Kroger piloted electronic shelf label systems across hundreds of stores. The stated reason was efficiency. Faster price updates, less paper, less labor for tag changes, which is true. It's also true that a system that can update prices in seconds across the whole store is a system that can update prices for you, specifically, based on what the app has decided you are. I'm not saying they're doing that today at full scale. I'm saying the infrastructure exists, is deployed, and the business case for using it that way is not theoretical.
Okay, step back. The coupon is not the discount. The coupon is the mechanism by which you prove you are price sensitive. Think about that for a second. When you clip a coupon, when you go through the friction of finding it, adding it to the app, making sure to scan at checkout, you are demonstrating behavioral responsiveness. You are showing the algorithm, this person notices prices. This person will change behavior for 50 cents. You have just opted into the price-sensitive tier. The person who doesn't bother, too busy, too proud, doesn't want to deal with it, has just opted out passively without knowing there was a choice being made. And the system reads that absence of friction as data. This customer does not respond to price signals. Filed, flagged, priced accordingly. There is something structurally, I keep coming back to this, structurally identical to a test you fail by not showing up. The passing grade is performing poverty. The failing grade is performing comfort. And the price difference is 34%.
Now,
I want to be careful here because this is where the story either gets honest or gets sloppy. Not every store is doing this at full deployment. Not every app is this aggressive. The documented cases are concentrated in a subset of major chains with sufficient data infrastructure. The 34% figure is a ceiling in observed cases, not an average across all purchases everywhere. But here's the thing about ceilings: they exist because someone built up to them. The direction is consistent. The trend line in retail data pricing models, going back to the early rollout of shopper loyalty programs in the late 1990s, is one direction. More granular, more individualized, more responsive to behavioral signals. The average case today is a more aggressive version of what the ceiling case was in 2015. So no, you are probably not paying 34% more for eggs right now. You might be paying 12% or 8%. Or the system has you flagged but hasn't fully repriced your items because the local competitive landscape doesn't support it yet. Or you're fine, and none of this applies to your store. But you don't know which one. Sit with that. You genuinely do not know which tier you're in because the system was designed to be invisible to the person it's pricing.
The dog is still there, still watching the door, still hasn't reacted to any of this. Here's where it gets, I don't want to say darker because darker implies I was being light before and I wasn't. Here's where the second layer lands. The same app that profiles your price sensitivity also holds the only escape from that profiling. You want to stop being flagged as price inelastic? Engage with the coupons, scan them, demonstrate responsiveness, reclassify yourself. Except engaging with the app means giving the system more data, more purchase history, more timing patterns, more signals. You are trading behavioral data for a discount on the data you're already giving them for free by shopping there. The price of the coupon is not $0.00. The price of the coupon is your shopping profile, updated in real time, handed to a system that will use it to find the next ceiling. You are paying to be seen. The payment is being seen more.
I had a conversation once. This is not a primary source. This is a conversation with someone who'd worked in retail analytics. Mid-career, nothing dramatic, just data work. And she said something that I've thought about more than I expected to. The model doesn't care what you can afford. It cares what you'll tolerate. Those are not the same thing. Those are actually almost opposite things. A high-income household might have a very low tolerance threshold. A lower-income household might have trained itself out of necessity to be exquisitely price-sensitive. The model is not sorting by wealth, it's sorting by behavior. Which means the cruelest version of this isn't rich people pay more. It's people who have learned through years of having to track every price and never let friction stop them. Those people are systematically rewarded by a system that was designed to extract from the people who stopped learning to watch. The title of this video was not exactly right. You don't have to be rich to be in the expensive tier. You just have to have, at some point, decided that 40 cents wasn't worth your attention. Depending on when that happened, it might have been a reasonable call. So, the grocery store app is a loyalty program in the sense that a parole officer is a support system. Technically accurate, structurally inverted. The price you see may not be the price your neighbor sees. The difference is documented. The mechanism is behavioral. The infrastructure for full deployment exists and in some cases is running. And the only way to exit the expensive tier is to perform continuously the behavior that the expensive tier is defined by not performing. There's a word for a system where the exit costs are paid in the same currency the entry fee was denominated in. I won't say it. The nitrogen is load-bearing. So is the implication. Last thing. When was the last time you actually checked whether your store has digital shelf labels? Not heard about it, checked, walked up to a tag and looked at whether it's paper or a screen. Most people haven't. The dog has.